the 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 parasha of tomorrow is Parashat Behaalotecha. It is the third parasha of the book of Bamidbar. It talks about, it starts with how Hashem told Moshe to Aharon to light the candle, the consecration of the Leviim, and then there were few debacles that happened to the Jewish people in this parasha. We should categorize Sefer Bamidbar as the maturing stage of the Jewish nation. In Shemot we got out. In Sefer Bamidbar the nation was challenged, and with few things. This is what happens to every human being when they grow up, a teenager until they mature. Like, for example, in this parasha we have three complaints by the Jewish people, and we will talk about them later on. We have also the issue when of the spies that were sent, Parashat Korah, the rebellion, and then how the Amalek attacked Israel when when Aaron passed away, and when the complaint of the Jews when after Miriam passed away and its well disappeared with her, how did they react? They are all in this book. So and we can notice that the majority of the complaints, in fact almost all of them, appeared in the first couple of years after they got out of Egypt. After that they matured and they became worthy to receive the land of Israel. So in this parasha there is pasuk. It says kemitlonenim ra ha'am kemitlonenim ra b'znei Hashem, and that they were all like complaining. And the Torah, yani hasa al kevoda shel Israel, that they were careful about their dignity. It didn't say mitlonenim, even though they were mitlonenim. And not only that, ha'am, Rashi said that ha'am zo reshaim. Like in the Torah it says ma yaseh la'am hazeh od me'at v'skaloni. It says also in the Nevi'im ha'am hara hazeh. Unlike Ammi means that the Tzaddikim, Am means Reshaim. Even though they are Reshaim, still the Torah was careful about their dignity. And also it is interesting that it appeared exactly immediately after strange looking Shnei Pesukim, Vayivin Sawa Aharon Vayomer Moshe, Kum Adonai V'afazu Obecha V'zom Tzanechat Banecha. These two Pesukim, also it is encircled by inverted nun, and the Mefarshim say that the reason that it was separated because there were three negative things that the Jews did, and the Torah did not want to put them together, so they separated them. The first one is Ves'u Mehar Hashem, that they left Har Sinai. They were running away. The Mefarshim say that it's like a little child running out of school. He doesn't want to have homework. He doesn't want to learn. He just wants to go home and go out to play. This is how they behaved. And then they were complaining about that the rigors of the road and that they didn't have meat. And the rigors of the road is that Hashem, he was upset because he felt that he did that for their benefit, because he wanted them to go to the land of Israel as soon as possible, but they interpret that in a different way, in a negative way, that we are walking day and night, we don't rest, and they walked. And so now the question is, why do you blame them? That they said that only a year and a couple of months before, they had the same thing, or maybe 2 years before, they had the same thing in Egypt, because we do know that the Galut was supposed to be 400 years. However, they got out after 210 years. Why? because in the last year the avodah, the servitude, the slavery was much worse, and because certain amount of slavery they had to experience, so Hashem condensed that very, very intensely, so they get out earlier. And they should have learned that probably Hashem is doing the same thing in here. They didn't. And also after that, the issue of that they wanted to have basar, that give us meat. And the truth in reality, they have meat. I mean, this is really tar'omet. This is a pretext, alila, just to complain for no good reason. How do you know that they have meat? Another 4 years, that they had a lot of meat, and that's why they wanted to stay on the east side of the Jordan River. However, they wanted meat, and they came up with really crazy things. That they said they had free fish, they had cucumbers, and they have melons, and it's highly unlikely that the Egyptians gave them free fish, because they didn't give them even hardly food. They had to go to collect the hay to make the lebanim, the bricks. So it's unlikely that they have free, but still they wanted to have tar'omet. We need to understand that complaining is sometimes therapeutic. To vent out is really healthy. However, when it becomes pathological, it's not healthy. In fact, it adds significant negativity. And also we need to understand that Hashem, when there is legitimate reason for complaint, even though if it's not expressed in a nice way, he doesn't punish them. Like, for example, when they got out of when in Egypt, when they increased the servitude, they told them, they say that leave us alone, that you came to us and we became the situation got worse. Also, when they got out of Egypt and the Egyptians attacked them and they were sandwiched between the Yam Suf and the Egyptian, they did say, there are no graves in Egypt that you wanted us to die in the desert. Hashem didn't punish them. They crossed the Red Sea, they didn't have water, and also Hashem didn't punish them. When did they punish them? Here, when they have no reason to complain, and they did complain, we see that Hashem did punish them. So Hashem does understand that when there is reason to complain, even though it's not expressed well, it is okay. Here it is not okay. So now, because of the issue of the hitlonenut, of the complaining, I want to expand on that. My dear friend Sami Saka gave me one time a book. I believe he distributed that to all his organization. It's called the No Complain Rule. And basically, he talks, that book is written by John Gordon, Jonathan Gordon. He talks about the negative effect that chronic complainer in any organization will bring. He did mention staggering statistics that the cost of the complaining is about $250 billion a year, of lack of productivity. The chronic complainers cause stress, because the majority of stress at work is not because of the job itself, but because of the co-workers and the relationship among them and between them and the management. It causes doctor's visit. It just sucks out the energy out of the organization, instead of being devoted to something productive and to promote the success of the company. Here, a lot of energy being used, and in this case abused, to calm down the complaining. And as I mentioned before, that sometimes just to vent out in a healthy way is healthy, but to complain all the time is definitely not healthy. Now, for those who live in New York and New Jersey, in the last few days, we were experiencing rain and a little bit colder weather than normal. And many of my patients come, oh, the weather, it's killing me. It's miserable outside. We didn't see the sun for a few days. And, you can tell them one time, two times that, you know what, it is good to experience change in nature. I do know I have relatives in Panama where my wife is. They want to come here during the winter to change. It is good. You say it once, you say it twice, and then you let go because there is no end to that. There is certain amount of hours in here. They complain about the food. They complain about the temperature. The temperature is very big deal, especially in an organization that has a lot of women. Too hot, too cold, and it doesn't bring anything. It only brings negativity and unhappiness. So he suggested few things to diffuse this the complaining. He said basically that no complaints. You can't complain. If you have problem with somebody or with something, talk to the person who you think is a problem, your coworker or your manager, and try to diffuse it. Basically, most of the time you'll realize that it's not that bad. It can be worked out. Number two, and this is probably the most important, when you come to management, he suggested that you need to bring with you one or two solutions to the problem, whatever it is. Tardiness of employees, temperature, whatever it is, you have to be part of the problem. You have to be part of the solution, not only bringing the bad news, exaggerating the problem. This doesn't help anyone. And he says also that when they complain, they usually compare the organization to another one that is doing better. And he did say that there is a common saying that the lawn is greener on the other side. And he said that the truth is that I believe it is physical thing. It is physics, how the color gets reflected. This is true fact. However, he says that the lawn is greener where it is better watered. When you invest in that lawn, when you make sure it is watered well, it will be good. And also he suggested that the management should have a culture of positivity, that we don't gossip, we don't complain, we here to grow. If we concentrate on growing and being successful and sell more and produce more and add value to the employees and to the society, there will be little room for any negativity to breed in the organization. So he said that one of the way to kill weeds is to put chemical to kill them. But however, another way is to fertilize the good herbs, the good lawn part of the lawn. That by itself, when it grows, it kills the weed, and that's what is important. So it will show when organization adopts this rule, that the no complaint rule that was the subject of the book of John Gordon. The people will feel happier, and in fact, Abraham Lincoln said that a person will be as happy as he wanted to be. It is up to him. To a large extent, it is right, although not all the time, because we do know that there are some psychological issues that can be in the way. To summarize, complaining just for the sake of complaining is not healthy. When we need to complain, we have to bring solution. that is the positive things. That what will allay and will delete any of the negativity in personal life and in organization and in the society. And that's what can bring happiness. Shabbat shalom, and later out.